Well, kindy will be free for Queensland families as part of a $645 million state budget measure. Joining us live is Jay Weatherill, Director of Thrive by 5. Appreciate you making the time, Jay. Thank you. With this inclusion by the Queensland Government, where are we at now in terms of access to free kindy across the country? Is it still a real hodgepodge of policies?
Yes, and it's great to see Queensland stepping up. They had been a bit behind the mark, but now with the $645 million commitment, we should see an additional 50,000 children who benefit from this, and in a big way as well. Some of the families will be up to $4,500 a year better off. Then that's just the pressure on families, the cost of living question. The really big payoff here is for children and ensuring that they are able to get those early learning opportunities, which means that by the time they go to school, they're actually in much better shape. And, you talk to any primary school teacher, they'll tell you that the gap that those children come into school with proves very difficult to close. So this is a wonderful investment by the Queensland Government. We strongly support it. We'd like 2 years of free kindy, but that's our campaign across the nation. But so that's the next step. But this is a wonderful announcement by the Queensland Government.
So, Jay, when you talk about kids being in better shape when they've had that year of kindy going then into more formal schooling, going from there, what is the concrete evidence in terms of what it actually means for kids a bit further down the line when it comes to things like literacy and numeracy? Are there really clear benefits on those fronts?
Yeah, there is. There's any number of reports that have been published that can describe and measure the effect of high quality early learning on the trajectory for both learning, but also health and well-being for children. So we know in those first 5 years of life, something like 1 million neural connections are made every second with high quality experiences. So a child's brain is literally being built in those early years. And so the quality of those experiences is just so crucial. And we know that those effects, the research tells us that those effects are even more profound in families that could be described as disadvantaged. So it's good for all children, but particularly good for children from disadvantaged families.
And you're talking about high quality education there. Do we have the quality that we need to ensure those benefits? I mean, having more kids turning up at kindy is one thing, but do we have the qualified teachers to teach them?
It's a really good question. Quality is essential. One of the advantages of the Australian system is that we when we pushed into childcare and preschool, we really very much emphasised quality. So we do have one of the better quality systems in the world. Unfortunately, it's just not very affordable or accessible. So the questions, we can't take our eye off the ball for quality. And indeed, one of the present pressures is workforce. So quality is intimately related to workforce. You can't get high quality outcomes if you've got massive turnover or shortages. And in fact, in Queensland, this is a very acute issue. So the other part of the announcement today, which is very welcome, is the emphasis on actually attracting and retaining additional teachers and early educators into the early learning system. So the two things go together. They're very correct to point that out.
Jay Weatherill, really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.